Welcome back, family. Monday, the 25th of November. We're in Thanksgiving week. Check it out. Man, this year's just going so fast. We're here for the cover price top 20, and then my pick for boom and bust of the week. All right. So, yeah, we've got some interesting books on the list this week. A couple of new ones, a couple of ones that have just been hanging around. And let's see, we got Robert Monroe checking in already. Good evening, Rich, my fellow coconuts. And then he says, Brian K. Vaughan will be doing the screenplay for Forbidden Planet. So I expect to see that book on the top 20 list this week. I can't disappoint you, sir, but it will not be holding that number one spot again. We got a brand new book appeared out of nowhere in the number one spot. It's kind of weird. But anyway, let's just jump right into this list, shall we? Coming at number 20, we've got an oldie but a goodie, a favorite, perennial favorite. We've got Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 300. This is the Todd McFarlane. It's the direct edition, which is 1988, which was the more common one at that time. This book, of course, is being driven up a little bit by the fact of the Venom movie being out right now, and this is the first full appearance of Venom. We do have 9.9, so just watch out for your 9.8s. 9.8 sales at $26.40, which is up about $73 from FMV. So it's spiking a little bit right now. 9.6s are also up $9.50. Let's see, 9.4s, $609, right about FMV. 9.2s. Well, they're all a little bit over FMV, which doesn't make me feel that sad because I have an 8.5. Your near mint raws, though, look at this. Near mint raw, 9.0 to 9.4, $465. So if you're got a good eye, okay, and you're able to really pick out a higher grade, a better eye than me. Let's just say that. If you can get a something that comes in at 9.4, it's $150 bump in price if it does come back as a 9.4. If you're really lucky at a 9.6, it's $949. So, if you're really good at it, man, what could be pressed out or something like that, you can make some money on this book. Other than that, though, I'd say overall, this book, it's always going to have great value. It's a first appearance of a major character. And even though this book was pretty heavily printed, everybody in the world wants one. So the demand meets the supply. So I finally broke down this year and got myself a copy. Like I said, it's an 8.5. I wish it was something with a 9 as the first digit, but the price just goes up a bit there. But if you are patient and you can just wait a little bit until Venom leaves the theater and everything, I think this book may have a little bit of a lull. Probably by the end of the year, maybe the beginning of the new year. But it'll probably spike again and go back up again once people start getting their income tax returns. This is a book it's never going to lose all its value. So it will slowly, steadily go up. It's not worth it's definitely worth the price. Coming number 19, we've got X-Men issue number 251. There's that homage from that scene in the Deadpool movie. Now, this is, I think, back on this list for two particular reasons. One, because we have the poster scene from the Captain America New World Order, which that book is also on this list. And as a result, people are being reminded, oh, yeah, that X-Men 251, which had that one scene in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. And also, there's a lot of people that did not go see it in the movie theater, even though it made over $1 billion. There's a lot of people that didn't see it. And now that it's streaming on Disney Plus and everything else, they're seeing it. And they're like, oh, yeah, I remember that comic book. And you've got a second wave of people that are going out to buy this book. It is a great, great cover. Don't get me wrong. But $600 for a 9.9. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's a 9.9 from a 1989 book, a 35-year-old book. 9.8 as a result of selling for $275, a little bit over FMV. Same thing with the 9.6s. No, 9.6s are actually low, $171. Then it really drops off. 9.2 at $881, 9.85 at $61. Near mint raw books are selling for $45. If you really got to have this book, I'd wait a bit, but if you can't, I'd go for the raw. But if you can wait a little bit, then definitely, you see the FMV of the Raw is 38 and it's selling for 45. It'll come back down again because there's nothing major that happened in this book. There's no first appearance, no cameo, no anything. It's only based on the cover appearing in the movie. Number 18, we have, what do we have? Oh, couldn't have scrolled, huh? Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, issue number 8, the direct edition. This is the origin. I didn't say first appearance. First time in months. It's the origin of the alien symbiote that later becomes Venom. And yeah, this book came out months after issue number 252 of Spider-Man. And it really, really peaked. I was buying the books. I was reading them when they were new. I'm not old. And when this book hit and we finally got to find out what the heck the symbiote was, where did it come from? This was like the hottest book. Everybody was talking about it at school. But I don't know if anybody really focused on keeping them in mint condition, but they did print a lot of them. This is a direct edition. 1984 was just about the point where it's 50-50 with newsstand. So don't pay a premium for those newsstands unless they are in a 9.6 or 9.8. There's just no point to that. There's a 10 out there, which sold in 2019 for $14,000. I don't know if they could get that again. However, the 9.9 just sold. It just sold in the last week for $6,600. I got to look up the sales data to find out what did it sell for before. Was that up or down? That's a really great question here. Oh wow, that is big time down. Sold earlier this year for 10 grand. It sold in 2021 for 16 grand. And now sold for 6,600. So that 9.9 is down a lot. It's at 40% of the value that it was in 2021. Maybe actually more like 35%. So yeah, ouch. I feel bad for the person that bought it. They bought it for 16,000 now, only to have it go for 6,600. 25 Perez is checking in. How you doing there, sir? So, of course, when you get one of those big major sales, it will drop, get everybody's attention and they'll start buying them. 9.4 is about where it becomes affordable. 200, 9.2 sold for 230. That's a bit above. 9.0 just sold for 215. That's a bit above. 8.5 sold for below at 149. So be frugal with your prices. I think mine's like a 9.4 or 9.2. I should be able to turn around and look at it. I could figure out where the word. There we go. Mine's a 9.2 white page. I put them in alphabetical order. I still have a hard time finding things. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing today, sir? So, be frugal with your purchases on this. Bear in mind that there are a lot of copies out there. Don't pay a premium for newsstand unless it's 9.6, 9.8. And other than that, it should come down a little bit as we get away from the Venom movie. But overall, it's a key book, especially with Secret Wars coming up. This will have a respike in the future. Next one up, we have Venom. It's a new character named Venom. Venom, Lethal Protector, issue number 5. This is the first full appearance of Phage, Lasher, Riot, and Agony. These are the characters I think that appeared in the movie, or at least it was speculated to by the trailer. I haven't seen the movie yet. 9.8 sold in March of 2025. March 25th of 2021 for $225. Now, look at this right here. 9.6 before the movie. Look at this right here. 115 on October 23rd. But a 9.8 just sold on November 22nd for $79. Near mints are selling for $8. This book is lost all value. Okay. So most likely people have dropped their prices a lot, leading to a bunch of sales. People wanted to pick them up. I don't know how much lower it's going to go. You have first appearance of characters, and a 9.8 is selling for $79. You might be able to get it for $70 if you really, really wanted. But that being said, I really don't think that it's going to be. It might have a book value of $70, but you're gonna have a hard time finding somebody that is interested in buying it. It's not gonna have a demand at all. So this is one of those ones you just want to avoid. Next on the list, speaking of ones to avoid, this book has been on the list now for 3 weeks, and it's actually trending upwards. Guys, please stop buying this book. The near mints, though, have dropped from 51 to 33. That's a good sign. Okay. Near mint pluses have gone up to 80, but that's back on the 19th. 9.8 selling for $500. And the only thing specific about this is that the poster for the movie is an homage to this book, just like the X-Men book that we looked at earlier, which is an homage. So instead of a green fist, it's a red fist. And instead of Steve Rogers, it is Sam Wilson in the Captain America. I read that Captain America New World Order has tested poorly in screenings, has got back for reshoots again. Oh my God. I think was this like the third set of reshoots? I predict that this book price will drop like a stone if the movie sucks. Honestly, I think this book is going to drop even if the movie is great. Okay. Because again, all it is just like one scene of the movie. What's that Secret Wars that appeared on the floor in the void in the Deadpool Wolverine movie? How's that book selling right now? The one that, oh yeah, there it is in the movie. It must mean something. Yeah, it means that they dropped the comic book. Big whoop. And people were freaking out over that one. So yeah, this is one that's definitely a loser. Star Wars: The Force Awakens adaptation, first appearance of Rey, Kylo Ren, Finn. I don't know who Unker Plut. I don't know who that is. General Hux, Captain Phasma, and says non-hologram. This one came out in 2016, and let's see, 9.8 selling for 145. Near mint plus is selling for 25. Near mint regular selling for 17. Now, first off, this started getting some steam when they were talking about the next movie, which was going to be a continuation of Rey and everything else. Well, that movie has been scrapped. It has been scrapped. It's not going to happen. They're looking at making another trilogy post the Skywalker era, and it may have the first movie with an elderly Rey. I don't know if it'll be her playing it. I hope so, actually. It's not her I didn't like. It was the character. But if you're hoping that you're going to see Kylo Ren, Finn, and Rey again, you're not. It's not going to happen. Not in the capacity that you're thinking of. Now, I really poo-pooed on this book last week because of this. And then I watched JP's Budget Collecting. And the same book appeared on the CBSI list and Comic Tom's list. And he was talking about this book and you know what? Looking back in retrospect, I may have been too harsh on this book. I'm not saying it's a great investment. But he pointed out something that I really do have to acknowledge. A near mint is $17. A 9.8 145. If your favorite characters, if the characters you really like are Rey and Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma and Finn and all those guys, this is their first appearance in comic books. Is $20, $25 really that much money for your first appearance, the first appearance of your favorite characters? No, it's really not. If you really want to have that 9.8, I think you'd be better off trying to get a raw and sending it in. But if you want to drop 145 on the Star Wars: The Force Awakens #1 because you want to have the first appearance of your favorite characters, that's really not a terrible, terrible thing. I think that the 9.8 will drop in price, but near mint for 17, near mint plus for 25. That's about what I think it should go for, even if they're not making a movie. So thank you again to JP's Budget Collecting, who brought a different point of view for this for me. And I agree that the raw copy wise, this is about this is a decent price for a book that may be your favorite characters. It's not mine because I don't like these characters. Again, not the actors. Okay. It has nothing to do with the actors slash actresses, or if they just call themselves actors these days, whatever. I just didn't relate to the characters. I'm an old school person. I'm a Luke, Leia, Han. Okay, next on the list, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 311, the Francis Portello 1 in 10. Now, look, it really is a good cover, but it's not a first appearance of anybody. It's a 1 in 10 variant that came out last week. It is selling for 18 bucks. It's not even hitting double ratio. This is the era of ratios. Everything is ratios. I'm sick to death of ratios. I've been changing my eBay searches to era, just putting in golden age and silver age, and everything else leave me alone. I don't see this holding any kind of value. I think even at $18 it's going to drop. I think it's going to wind up right at ratio at 10 bucks. There's nothing spectacular about it. All right, this book, second week in a row, we've got this book on the list, but it has dropped down a little bit. The Venom issue number 39, first cover appearance of the all new Venom, which we don't know how long it's going to stick around. Well, it'll stick around as long as it sells comics. As soon as it stops selling comics, they'll go back to the old Venom. 9.8s are pre-selling at 120. That's up a little bit, and the Near Mint Pluses are selling for 13. Near Mint Regular selling for 11. Its current trend is down 5%. I expect that trend to continue. I don't know. It's issue number 39. Only if this character has any kind of a story. If you want to pick up a copy and try to get one for 10 bucks, it's not too much to lose. I'd stay away from the 9.8s. Historically, 99 out of 100 of these pre-sales drop. Historically, and I've ordered a few myself, so I'm guilty of it. But historically, the pre-sales, if they're going for 120 now, they're going to settle at 75, 80. So just be patient on it and wait for it. And you be patient on it, you'll wind up saving 50 bucks. And also, after X amount of time, by the time that comes down to $75, you might look at it and say, wow, this character in the long run sucks and I don't want it. Which means you saved yourself 120. All right, next on the list, we have the Mark Spears Monsters issue number 1, the Trick or Treat issue. It's cool because there's a second print. I gave one of these away, but I didn't give one of these away. And I'll explain more of that later on in the countdown. But I ordered this because I thought it really, really, really looked cool. The current trend is down a little bit, and I think it will continue to drop a little bit. Near Mint now, the last sale showing is 12 bucks. Near Mint Plus, Near Mint Regular for 9. These are the regulars because there is an error variant. Highest known value was 18, and that sold on the 20th. I think this is going to be right about 10 bucks for this book in the long run. It all depends upon what quantity of books were the error and what quantity of the books were the non-error. We don't really know just yet. And what's important here is that you look on her shoulder, that it looks like a clean shoulder. And you'll understand that more later as we get on with the countdown. Next on the list, we have Wonder Woman. Absolute Wonder Woman number 1. This book just loves sticking around on this list, but it's not going anywhere in value. Near Mint Plus is still selling for 10. Near Mint Regular is for 10. And I see 9.8's the last sale, which was October 20th, more than a month ago, for 45. There have been no slab sales, pre-sales, or anything else since October 20th that CovrPrice has been able to pull in on their information. So if you can find yourself a beautiful 9.8 looking copy for 10 bucks, you might want to just grab it. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Maybe you can get it for 8 or 9, but I don't know if this is going to wind up back at the CovrPrice era. In the long run, it may. I think it's going to hold a couple dollars above CovrPrice just because it was as popular as it is. I'm just going to look at something real quick. Yes, as I thought, that was the halfway point of our show. So we are going to take a quick 20-second break to say thank you to all the Patreon and YouTube members, the ones that keep this show going. If you would like to see your name appear on this list, you could either join as a YouTube member or as a Patreon member. And the link for that is in the description. So we'll see you in about 15 seconds. Don't go anywhere. We still got the top 10 to go. All right, so we're gonna be hitting the top 10 now. We're in the home stretch now, and we've got what's called a surprise book. It's a Todd Knock book. It's not just heads. We've got the Young West Coast Avengers #1. This is a surprise edition, and this is coming out this week. So if you see this in your LCS and you can get it for cover price, you might want to grab it. Okay, so that's why I blew it up so everybody could see. I see people selling near mint plus for 25, near mint regular for 30, highest known value for 36. I have no idea why this is going so much. I mean, that kind of looks. I don't know. I don't even know who the hell that is. If anybody knows, please pop it in the chat. Historically, these kind of books, they shoot up and then they come back down again. But, Doom held its value for quite a long time. Okay, next on the list, here we go. This is the one I've been waiting for. We have the Mark Spears Trick or Treat issue, second print, and this is the Mole Error. Yes, mole. If you look at her shoulder right here, there's a mole on her shoulder. Okay? And as a result, this book, I did see one sale for $202. This is when people were, again, FOMO, grabbed everybody. It seems like the price has shot 203. I'm sorry. I thought it was 202. But Near Mint books, Near Mint Plus is selling for 33, Near Mint regular for 35. So it seems to have settled down to the $30 to $35 range. I think in the long run, this book will settle down further. It all depends upon how many there are. Now, this is where I get to have some fun. Yeah. So today on our Patreon page, I put the link for our monthly meetup, and it is going to be on the 14th of December. Okay. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. The link is already there. And I hope I put the right. Yeah, I think I put the right month. Anyway, a lot of time now, every time we get together, it's about an hour. We chat, we talk. YouTube members, if you'd like to join, please just send me a message and I'll send you the link as well. I want everybody there. It's Christmas time. We're going to have some fun. And everybody that's there, I have a box of giveaways and what do you call it? As we're talking, I say pick a book, 8th from the front, whatever. And you guys get 3 books usually. I'm pretty good about that. And for everybody that shows up. If you can't show up, you message me, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'd like to have the 12th from the back, the 5th from the front, and one somewhere in the middle. Whatever. December, it's Christmas. And Team Ohana has something special, but you gotta be there for it. Okay, so if you can't attend, you just tell me which books I will choose. Absolutely. But for each person that attends the Patreon get together, I'm adding to their books that they get. These are mole errors. These are mole errors. These are mole errors. Yes, I've got a stack of them. And every single one of these is, I don't know if I can get it on the screen. Yep, there you go. It's a mole error. It's a mole error. It's a mole error. They're all mole errors. And it's going to be automatically added to anybody that shows up for the get together on December 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. The link again is on the Patreon page. If you're a YouTube member, just go right to the Patreon page anyway and just join, even as a free member. Okay, I made it accessible to even free members. I want everybody to have fun. It's the holidays. Come on, comic books, holidays. How much more fun can you have than that? Okay, so I think I got 13 copies here. That'll, the first. I've never had more than 4 people in the group. If we hit 14, then I'll have to figure out something. But we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna chat for an hour. Just everybody just talking about themselves or whatever they feel like. Okay, whether it's comic books, movies, or the Loch Ness Monster, I don't care. We have fun. That's what we do. We just enjoy each other's company. So that's my big announcement for that. Now let's get back to the countdown. Overall, I think this book is going to settle a little bit. I wouldn't go spending $35 on it. Thankfully, I was able to find them for much less than that. They weren't cover price, but they weren't too far above it. Okay, this series seems to be doing quite well, and but I kind of think of it as stray dogs with all the different covers, and I worry about which ones will hold value, which ones won't. But if you can find this book as a, yeah, seriously, it really is. Thank you, Robert, for saying that. We have a blast. Got to set a reminder. Absolutely don't want to miss the next meetup. Everybody's going to get a free $30 book that shows up. But I think by the time this meetup happens, this book will be settling probably about the $28 mark, and I think it'll finish up somewhere between 20 and 25, which is it's a cool book. It's about still going to be double up to triple the price of the non-error, which is good. Next on the list, we have the Batman Long Halloween, Last Halloween. This is issue number 0, the free book from Batman Day Edition. Okay, and CGC 9.8 is selling for 48. Big whoop-de-doo. They did go up to 75. And the most recent sale for Nairmans is $4. It's all volume on this. Some people are still overpaying for this book that they think it's going to go somewhere, but it's not. Yes. Everybody's got to call each other out and get your butt into the chat. We're going to have some fun. If you want to pick up a copy for $4, I still think you're overpaying even at that. But you know what? There's a lot worse ways to blow $4. I don't even have faith that it's at $4. Anything over that, it's dumpster fire. Sorry. Absolute Batman number 1. This is the Noir Edition foil, not the same as the Noir Edition that we gave away a couple weeks ago. This is the foil version. In fact, the regular Noir Edition. Oh my God, there's a lot of covers of this. There it is. That one's actually up a little bit and selling for 12. Cool. So congrats to the person that won that. Ooh, I like that Absolute Batman there. Anyway, this one's selling for 28. So if you grab that foil, you're doing decent. 9.8s are pre-selling for 63. The one thing I will say is watch out when you're buying pre-sales of 9.8s of a foil, because historically they wind up getting a lot of 9.9s, which drives the price of 9.8s down. I think that this book will drop a bit in price. I don't know if it being any type of a limited production, just that it was a foil, so it was probably selling for like $8 or $9 or $10. I don't know if just that fact means that it's worth 28, but I mean, if people didn't order them, then now there's a demand for them. I'm not a fan of foils. I'm not a fan of a lot of these things. So I'm personally going to avoid it, but there's worse things you can spend $28 on. Just be very, very picky when you're picking this book up to make sure it's absolutely perfect. Foil shows everything, even especially fingerprints. There you go, Robert. There's the book you wanted, Forbidden Planet, issue number 1 from Innovation Comics of 1992. This is a 32-year-old book from a company I never heard of, Innovation Comics. And this book has gone up in price. It was around $20 last week, 20 to 25. Now we're hitting 40 and 60 for Nearman Pluses. The 9.8 just sold for $283. 9.4 is for 89. And I expect some of these sales to continue to go up because a lot of people just don't have these books. They're not that easy to find. Um, I will say that last week I called this as my best the book that I thought was the best one to to put money into. Because of the fact that it was from some company I never heard of, Innovation Comics. I think it'll drop down a little bit, but in the long run, when this thing comes out, I think it really will. Uh, I've never heard of them. I just don't. I've never heard of them. But you know me, there's a reason why I went to full screen. I got to, and let me tell you, these look gorgeous. These definitely need a press, and I'm sending these in. So I will be ready. I don't know if I'm gonna get a 9.8 on these, but I got a shot. That's my thought. So, but $60 for a Near Plus, I wouldn't have spent 60. I got them for 20, so I was happy about that. Um, Near Mints regular going for 40. Very fines are going for 25. Fines are going for 20. I feel good about getting these for 20. Um, I think this is going to drop down once it pops off the list, but then come back up again as we get a trailer or something along the lines. But maybe 2 years away. So you got to have a giant window to get this book. I would wait if you haven't picked it up yet. Wait. If you have picked it up and you want to sell it for a quick sale and then pick it up again later as it drops, it's not a bad time to get it to do that. Me, I just wanted to get a couple that send them in for grading. So yeah, right now it's the wrong time. Right now is the wrong time. Last week was a good time. I think this will maybe even go up a little bit more next week, and then after that, you're going to start to see it come down. There's the Mark Spears issue number 2, the Spawn homage, and I got the book. I really didn't even think of Spawn when I got it. I'm sorry. I now after somebody saying it, I get it, but not really much of a Spawn homage. So this one is actually going for $18 in near mint. Now, it's funny. I got a copy of this, and I thought that was the cover A. I did wind up not getting the cover A. Cover A is I got this, and I got the creature feature variant, which is also going for about $18. A lot of people that are reading this are enjoying the story, and it's new stuff, and they're introducing new characters. I don't think it's going to hold $18. I think as right now, it's just everybody. It's the hottest thing, and I'd hold off on it. I'm even tempted to selling mine for 18. I got it for what, 4, 5? I don't even know what the price of this thing is. 6. Wow. So yeah, give it a couple weeks. This is going to drop a little bit. Well, imagine if you can get the Spawn homage signed by Todd McFarlane. That'd be cool. But he doesn't sign stuff he didn't draw. Absolute Batman number 1 still on the list. Gotta love it. But creeping downward in those prices. Well, the 9.8s are actually creeping upwards. 140 is a new high. But your Near Mint Plus 21, Near Mint Regular 25. This was at 38, 35, 30, 28, now at 25. It's slowly settling. It just reminds me of Spider Boy. I think it's going to settle a little bit more. I think this is going to wind up around a $20 raw. And I think the 9.8s in the long run are going to wind up being, I'm going to say 85, 80 to 85. There's just too many of them. And everybody's, worried about FOMO. And it's another book that's going to come back and bite him in the butt. Next on the list, we have the DC All-In Special. Somewhere in one of my boxes, I have a copy of this, of course, apparently. This is the first appearance of the Absolute Universe Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman that everybody's buying. By the way, did you notice Absolute Superman is not on the list? Wonder Woman and Batman are. Superman is not. And spoiler, it's not in the next couple of books either. Let's see. 9.8 selling for $80, and the Raws Near Mint Plus selling for 14. The Near Mint regular just sold for 5, which is way low from the FFE. I think that's sale may be an aberration or somebody listing um a near mint book when it wasn't, or it could also be a near mint book that somebody put like $20 shipping on and nobody wanted to pay. But if these characters do turn out to be something good, this might be a decent book at the $14 level, the $10, 10 to $14 level. Wouldn't go any higher than that, but more than likely it's going to hold that value and then or drop a little bit in price overall. I don't think people were expected the absolute Batman to take off like it did. And if this is his first appearance, that's what's going to hold its value. But other than that, nothing spectacular. It's a meh book. Next, now here's that cover A that I missed. Mark Spears, cover A. Guess who's back? There's Monsters, number 2. You got Dracula coming out with Jesus behind him. Yikes. Now, I got to see if I can get a copy of this because I missed this one, obviously. But it's only going for 12, which is not the same price as the variants. But it is a cover A, and if this series does turn out to be something, I'm not saying it's going to be something that's killing the children, but it might be something like something is killing light. You know what I mean? Um, it's got a good story. People are liking it, and it's buzzworthy. So for $12, I want to see if I can pick up a copy of this. I missed it. Next on the list, this is the number 1 book of the week. I saw this. I'm like, what the hell is it? This is the cover A of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Naruto. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, last sale, $4. I don't know if I can see the price on this, but I'm pretty sure it was a $4 book. So we have a $4 book selling for $4. 9.8s are pre-selling for 60, which for a high-end demand book, $60 is actually kind of low. This is one of those markets like Sonic the Hedgehog, in my opinion. And I've been burned by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the past. But I think that everybody who really loves TMNT and loves Naruto probably pre-ordered this. Maybe a few people missed it, but I think that every person that wanted the book got the book. And maybe some people wanted to pick it up and it was sold out of stores because stores know, oh, I've got 8 customers that are going to buy this, so I'm going to order 8 copies. As soon as you get that 9th customer that's like, wait, you sold out? Was it good? I got to buy it. That changes, that skews your supply and demand margins. I see no future for this book. I'm sorry. But if it's selling for $4, what are you going to lose? You want to grab a copy and read it and have some fun, go right ahead. But don't expect this book to put your kid through college. This is one of the weaker number 1s that we've seen in the last few weeks, and we've seen some real stinkers. All right. So I've got 2 more things I've got to do now. A boom and a bust. The bust is the book I think is the worst pick of the week. Whether, what based on what's current selling price, what I think it's going to be in the future. This is my red flag, red alert. I highly advise not buying it book. I don't think there's any doubt. It was my pick last week, and I see no reason to change my mind. I'm going with that Captain America 230 again. Okay. Just because it homaged one specific comic book cover with the poster does not make this a $500 book. If anything, we could look at the last few years, the comic book market, the amount of books that we way overpaid for that dropped like a stone. I see this being $120, $130 book and a 9.8 in a year from now. So please don't go spending $500 on this book. Okay. So what do I think is the best book on this list? Now, it doesn't mean that I can't say that any book on this list is going to go up in value. Okay. Maybe every single one, all 20 of them is going to drop. The book I'm going to pick is either going to go up in value, or if they're all going to drop, it's going to drop the least, in my opinion. We've got a couple of decent blue chip books on this list, but based on the prices that I see and what I see the MCU doing in the future and where I see the spikes coming up in the future, I think we should be looking at the Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars issue number 8, the origin of that black symbiote costume. Now we're getting a symbiote, we have Venom, the movie right now that's going to go to streaming. That'll give this a little kick again. Any Venom listing in the next Spider-Man movies is going to kick this up again. But we also have the Secret Wars movie, and I don't think they're going to use this Secret Wars storyline in the MCU. But this is the OG Secret Wars. Okay, this is the one that really started the idea of the whole thing. And this is the key book in that set. So this is a great book. Now, I don't advise going out buying a 9.9 or even a 9.8 at $479. However, you look at that 9.4 for $200, that makes my mouth water. Yeah. I would love to have found that $200 9.4 or a 9.2. It says a 230, but it's if you show somebody that a 9.4 just sold for 200, I bet you get a 9.2 for 170. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And this is the key book that you want to get into your collection. So it's not a grail, but well, to some people it may be. This is a great book, and right now prices are decent at some of the grades, and this is where I would, if I had to, buy one of these books off this list. I'd be looking at a 9.4 Marvel Superhero Secret Wars direct edition. All right. So that is this week's show. Don't forget, Wednesday we have New Comic Book Day where we're giving away books. Make sure that you go to last week's video, then you click like on it, you subscribe, and you drop a comment on that video. Keep it clean, keep it comics, and you have a chance to win either cash or comics, depending upon where you live. If you're in the United States, you get your choice of both. And again, December 14th, Christmas time coming right around the corner. We're going to be giving away to every person who shows up a mole variant. When I saw these, I was able to grab the whole stack. I just got so excited. I'm like, I'm giving these away for Christmas. I'm giving these away for Christmas. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. I want to say thank you to every single person who shows up here in the chat. Anybody that watches the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below what you think about some of these books. Click on those notifications so you know when more videos are dropping. But other than that, until I see you in the next video, which is going to be Wednesday, mahalo.